Thanks for tuning in to The Honest Hour. I'm your host, Luis Acevedo, and there's quite a bit going on today, as there is pretty much every day, it seems. So, yeah, one of the first things that I really want to talk about, well, actually, I guess to let some people come in here just to start this off with, um, had a pretty successful meeting today. Hopefully, we'll be adding another client to my business. So that went really well. And I have another one at 3 o'clock. So hopefully that meeting will go well too. And we just keep growing the business, just out here hustling every day. And this is something that I've been learning as I've started this business. Now, I've started many other businesses before. None have been quite as successful as this one. But the one thing that I have found from starting this business is in sales in general is that you really just have to be persistent. Because last week I made, I don't know, close to 100 phone calls, sent out emails, etc. And I had about 6 meetings set up and one only met one last week that was actually on the calendar, and then the other one I just got right on the spot from another restaurant. And then this week I had one on Monday, didn't go through. Oh man. And then two today. And then today I land a deal, hopefully. And then last week, the one that went through, hopefully we have a deal with that one as well. So really the key to this is just being persistent. Are you married? I am married. I've been married for, I don't know, 6, 7 years, something like that. Anyway, so yeah, it's very important that you just be consistent. That's the most important thing that I found in life is just consistency. If you consistently do something, you'll consistently get better at it and grow. So yeah, that was something that I'm pretty excited about so far today. Hopefully we'll be getting another client. It's a pretty big client in the area as well. And I'm hoping that we'll be able to close another deal today at 3, but we'll see how that goes. So yeah, anyways, getting into the news now because there's quite a bit to talk about. So it is official. Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House, went to Taiwan, is in Taiwan. There is footage of her landing in Taiwan. And the Chinese aren't too pleased. We've been seeing videos circulating the interwebs showing that forgot no-fault divorce. Yeah, I know I don't agree with the no-fault divorce either. I think that the no-fault divorce should be done away with. But anyway, so China has been sending fleets of vehicles and different military equipment to provinces near the Taiwan Strait. You've been watching Better Call Saul? No. I've watched maybe like a season of it. Not really my thing. Anyway, so Nancy Pelosi is officially there. There's videos circulating around. I'll actually show you. There's a contrast going on here between what the media wants you to see with Nancy Pelosi going to Taiwan and what the Taiwanese people actually feel about Nancy Pelosi going to Taiwan. So let me show you these slides here because they're quite telling and important. So right here, we can see, I'll show everybody on TikTok as well. The tax incentives are interesting. Tax cut for pregnancy with a heartbeat, 3,000 in Georgia. Yeah, Georgia's pretty based. You're just repeating what you see on the internet. Okay. Make marriage cool again. Yeah, exactly. So let's flip this camera around for you guys to see. So I got to take off the green screen, flip this around so you guys can see the contrast and support here. Okay. So this is what, they want you to see with Nancy Pelosi touching down in Taiwan. And then we're going to show you what they won't show you, how the Taiwanese people actually feel. So there's Nancy Pelosi right there. I wonder if she's been drinking it all tonight. If she's had too much sake or whatever they drink over in Taiwan. Oh. So there she is. That's what they want you to see, right? They don't want you to see this. So let's go over here. Let's exit out of that. Here we go. This right here. So give me a second. Give Give me a second. I want to show this to everybody on YouTube as well. TikTok's getting the first view of this. Let's see. So this is the Taiwanese people protesting Nancy Pelosi's visit. You ready for this? Oh man, they don't like us over there. They don't like us over there. Could it be staged? Yeah, possibly. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question. 100% could be. You guys face. Yeah. So it's pretty hilarious though that if it's organic, I tend to believe outside media sources more than I believe the United States media sources. That's just me. I could be wrong in doing that, but from what I know from American media, it isn't to be trusted, or Western media, in that the Chinese media and the Russian media tend to be more honest in their analysis, at least of the West. Now, there's obviously things that they cater to as well, right? There's things that they don't want people knowing. Sorry, everybody on YouTube, my freaking mic was not set up there, so you guys probably got poor audio quality for a little bit. They can protest. They can't protest their own leadership, but they can protest other leaders. Yeah, I mean, that's much better than being able to protest your own leaders, in my opinion, because it keeps some sort of cohesion. And if you don't want another country's leader in there, then you guys can stand in solidarity. Now, like I said, hi, how's it going? Taiwan hates America under Biden because they're a danger. I think that the Taiwanese people have always felt this way towards America, and that America is very antagonistic. I mean, the people who would pay the price in the middle of this conflict wouldn't be the American citizens, maybe on the financial side of things, but it would be the Taiwanese people, right? This is something that a lot of the neocons and the Biden administration aren't considering at all, or maybe they are considering and they just don't care about the Taiwanese people. Nope, I've lived there for 4 years. Okay, fair enough. I know that we just had somebody on the show the other day talking about that the Taiwanese people consider themselves Chinese, and he has multiple businesses there, if he was telling the truth. So it says, I remember the same kind of useful idiot apologist for Russia before they invaded. Yeah, I mean, we shouldn't be in Russia either. In Ukraine. You let your enemies manufacture all the things you buy. Well, that's the other problem, right? Which is why here at MOT Media, we are big on people localizing their supply chains because of the increase, the massive dependence we have on, outside supply chains. It wouldn't be, it wouldn't be you that suffers because you and your neckbeard wouldn't join to fight. I would not join to fight, but, we can get you out of here. Because I got a beautiful face. Taiwan just cries woof. I don't think that Taiwan is crying woof. I think that Taiwan is, rightfully concerned. The Taiwanese people are rightfully concerned. China has been stating that they're going to do something if Nancy Pelosi arrives. There's been rumors circulating around the Chinese social media about a untimely unaliving of Nancy Pelosi. I don't know how true this is. Obviously, these are things circulating around social media in China, so it could be totally trolls making this. But there are things that are to be known. Nothing more pathetic than fake patriotism. Yeah, they're not going to do anything. This host always has dumb takes. Well, then why are you here? I mean, you can just, there you go. Boom. No need for you to be here then if you think my takes are dumb. So Taiwan hates America. Maybe not all of Taiwan, but some of the Taiwanese citizens aren't very pleased at what America's doing. Why would we even want to start a war on another front? We were in a proxy war in Ukraine, and now we're going to be in a war in the South Asian Sea. It makes no sense. For what reason? For no reason whatsoever. For no reason whatsoever. If they do nothing, if they do something, USA will do nothing in response. I doubt that. people love cheap goods and service, so we won't be self-sufficient. I agree with that, which is why the United States is going to have a hard time in the near future. I mean, for hell's sakes, guys, you already have in New York City Spam and ham being put into containers, encased packaging, to where you have to go up front and unlock it, or else it signals alarms because of the robberies are up high and inflation is super high for those particular items. Is Taiwan the lead producer of computer chips? I don't know if they are the lead producer, but they are a main producer. I say we just let World War III begin. Whoever wins controls the world. Get it over with. World War III has already started, and China and Russia are going to win. They will be the ones leading the global zeitgeist, if you will. And it probably is going to be much better than the Western powers leading the global zeitgeist, because we see where that's going, right? We're just putting rainbow flags everywhere we go. I'm disappointed in Taiwan. They lied. How did Taiwan lie? What did they lie about? So that's the whole deal with Taiwan. Countries want computer chips. Yeah, I'm sure that's a big part of what Taiwan has to offer. But also, it has historical ties to China. I don't agree with your first point. That's cool. And the chips, they are trying to make them. Yep. Do you believe nuclear weapons would be a choice in this war? I don't even know that nukes are real to begin with. And I do it could be smoke and mirrors. I mean, you have a good point. The Neil World Order podcast, you have a good point. It could be, but who knows? I mean, it also could, it could be smoke and mirrors to distract people from the economy, because people are getting increasingly fearful due to Nancy Pelosi's visit and the tensions rising between China and the United States. It also could be a distraction from Ukraine. It could also be a opportunity for the West, they think, to overpower China and get back their influence over the global zeitgeist, but I don't think that they're going to win that. I think that we've lost too much. The whole Ukraine thing is a lie. I mean, there is a real war going on, right? That isn't being staged. There is a real war going on. There are people losing their lives every day in the Ukrainian-Russia war. But the narrative behind it is misleading. It is really a Russia-NATO war. That's really what it is the NATO-Russia war. It's not Russia-Ukraine, it's Russia-NATO. And NATO's losing. The West is losing. Why do you think the Taiwanese people hate Americans? It could be because of our colonializing past, right? And this isn't unique to America. A lot of other nations have done this as well. This is a very natural thing amongst society, amongst civilizations, to colonize areas they go to. So it's not uniquely American or European for that matter, but it could have something to do with that. The relationship between China and the U.S. have always kind of been shaky. I mean, Nixon tried to change things around by opening up trade with China, but you have to realize too that a lot of the American elite have had this misconception of what China is and the relationship between the United States and China. And this comes from back in the day during the opium trades, where the Americans and Western, Brits were basically colonizing Shanghai and China. And they cut out a little enclave for westernized living. They sent missionaries there to try to westernize the Chinese, try to take away their religions, and then make them just Christian, right? So we seen a huge amount of Western people, elites, go over to China and try to change their way of life, change their way of thinking, and considering what China actually is the old China, and the new China being the one that was Americanized. So I believe that the Taiwanese people and probably a lot of Asian people have a disdain for Americans doing that. And it's also notoriously, it's well known that the Asian people don't take fawn to other countries, other races. That's HK, bro. No, it's also Taiwan. And Shanghai is a part of China. So basically, you're just asking for money. Nope. You have no idea what you're talking. Okay, then you can leave. If I had to choose between Taiwan or Thailand, Thailand has better massage parlors. There you go. The repo and bond market indicate that we're in a recession. Yeah, I mean, some people would argue we're actually in a depression, and it's just being masked very well. They hate us because of toddlers and right. So grain from Ukraine and computer chips from Taiwan. Yeah, I mean, grain is huge from Ukraine, but there's also fertilizer from Russia as well. And we need to just stop being so dependent upon this global supply chain. I think that we need to localize our supply chains, and things will get better over time, but it'll take a while. I think that we're still going to experience hardships, but we can mitigate those hardships at an individual level. Let's see here. There's nothing good about America. I don't know if I agree with that. Doesn't Taiwan have a great relationship with us? Well, their government does. I mean, we give them a bunch of weapons. We go back and forth whether or not we support their independence. Marriage is cool. Marriage is cool. So let's go on to the next topic here about Biden coming for your, gun holsters. So the Department of Commerce has been asking gun holster companies for sales records. Now, apparently this isn't too uncommon for surveys to be given out by the U.S. Commerce or the Department of Commerce. However, there's been an absurd amount of commodity flow surveys to gun holster companies, and there is a huge concern with the government collecting our data, basically the gun holsters data, and then finding out who would own what kind of guns, right? And because the holsters are going to fit a specific kind of gun. So this is potentially damaging to the Second Amendment rights, and it could be looked at as something as unconstitutional, potentially, depending on where it goes and how far they take it. But yeah, I thought this was rather interesting. I think it was in Delaware. They were going around, and the police officers knocked on one person's door, gun owners' doors, asking them about their weapons and stuff, which it's not lawful, I don't think. And so we just basically see this antagonism towards, weapons in America. And I think this is going to continue for quite some time. However, it's not going to succeed. And if it does succeed, it'll be in a few states. It won't be across the whole country. The same way that we're seeing certain states try to solidify their abortion laws, we're probably going to see, as we already have actually, we see a bunch of states but implementing constitutional carries, right? Where you no longer need a concealed weapons license to carry a firearm concealed. There's a bunch of states that are doing that now. And so what I think you'll continuously see is as the federal government begins to lose more and more of its power, the state governments will start reclaiming more and more power, and this will drive division amongst the country, I believe, which will inevitably lead to probably another civil war. I have Taiwanese friends. They don't hate America. Yeah, that's cool. I'm sure not all of them, not speaking for all of them. I get it. There's exceptions. There's all this. But from the video I showed earlier, which you can go back and watch on MOT Media, you'll see that the Taiwanese people were protesting, a good portion of them. Love freedom. What freedom in America? What freedom do we have in America? Well, considering we're going broke, where's the cash cow? Yeah. Taiwanese people don't hate Americans. Okay. Make marriage cool again? Yeah, make marriage cool. Marriage is awesome. Make it great. Antagonism towards assault weapons and is inevitably scare tactic. Sigh. Taiwanese people hate liberals and communist sympathizers. Yeah, I don't know about that. A lot of Taiwanese people consider themselves to be Chinese. So it's a very polarizing area to be in. I don't know if I would want to live in Taiwan. And I don't know why Nancy Pelosi is even going to Taiwan. So it's rather insane to me. Why we would be going and instigating another war, I don't know. I don't know. Send her. China can do that. Can do it. And how are you an expert on Taiwan? Not claiming to be an expert on Taiwan at all. But we should know nowadays that experts should be taken with a grain of salt. Make marriage cool again. Yeah, that's right. Prove you have freedoms. Yeah. You look like Joe Biden. That's the first time I ever heard that. They all consider themselves Chinese. It's literally called the Republic of China. Yeah, well, that's because when the Civil War took place in China, the nationalists fled to Taiwan and then labeled it, the real China. And then China was not considered the real China by the nationalists who fled from the communists. Do you think abortion should be legal and state funded? No, to both. Trump 2024 or DeSantis make America Florida? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a big fan of either of them. Look what happened in Ukraine because of Afghanistan. Yeah, he is ethnically Chinese, same as found in other countries like Malaysia. Yeah, it's a civil conflict. It's none of our business. Agreed. Are you talking about votes for the Arizona audit? If so, we can't really talk about that here. How good of a prez would Pence be? Probably horrible. We don't have a government or democracy. We have a corporate dictatorship. Yeah, kind of. Do you think Biden is actually a good president or a puppet? I think all presidents are a puppet to some degree. But he's definitely not a good president. So let's go into what's going on with Georgia. So this is new news, and I think that people should be incentivized to have children. They should be. There should be tax cuts for people to have children. I think in Hungary, or is it Poland, one of the two countries, they've totally eliminated taxes if you have 4 or more children for that family. Would you vote Bernie Sanders or Clinton? Neither. Biden full puppet. Yeah, probably. So, yeah, Georgia is passing a law to now allow you to file them on as a dependent while they're in the womb, which is pretty cool. What's going on?
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Doing well. So what's going on?
I think Biden comes for gun holsters. I don't know about that one, man.
I mean, he does. I mean, this is Department of Commerce. Well, it's the government, so I just summarized it with Biden. Obviously, it's not Biden, but anyway, Department of Commerce asks gun holsters companies for sales records. So basically, the concern is that they're sending an absurd amount of commodity flow surveys to gun holders, the gun holster companies rather, and this is what they claim an attempt to create a registry of gun owners, types, numbers of firearms owned via the information collected in the survey. That's the main concern here with that particular issue.
Yeah, bro, I know, bro. America be having all the types of guns and shit, bro. They got pump shotguns, scores, bro. They got scores. It's not even trolling, bro. Bro, they got all types of weapons, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. They sell gold scores. Not even trolling, bro. I went to the supermarket earlier and got myself a pump shotgun and a score, you know.
All right. So is there anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, bro. I want to talk about how the
All right. So there's that. I think it's more than Taiwan people who hate America. Yeah, of course. As an American, do you have responsible to stand up for American values. What are American values these days? What are they anymore? Dude was having a great time. Yeah, he was. 4 trips and to Taiwan, and plenty of Taiwanese people tell me you're wrong and people hate America. I'm just referring to the video that was played earlier on the stream. So obviously not everybody in there hates America, but there are Taiwanese people who are not pleased about Nancy Pelosi's visit, and they're upset at Americans or at America, the government. So let's get back to what's going on with Georgia here. You've been listening to the Chinese Communist Party. I try to get my information from everywhere. So yes, I do like to see what the Chinese journals are writing. I like to see what the Russian journals are writing. I like to see what we're talking about. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I've never changed, just a lot of anti-Americans. What are American values? That's what I was asking. What are they? Literally, the world loves what America stands for, and most of the world wants Trump back. I don't think the world loves what America stands for. America stands for a bunch of rainbow flags flying everywhere. That's what we go to countries for. And cornos. You're Hispanic. I bet you're Latino. Yeah, you're right. I am half Puerto Rican. Paid parental leave as an incentive. If so, for how long? I just think that mothers should stay home. And I think that there should be a tax incentive, as they're doing here. And like, this is a good step in Georgia. So Georgia officials said Monday, expecting families are allowed to claim unborn babies or embryos as dependents on their taxes. This is huge. It says the tax. So this comes from the official State Department's revenue, says that the tax change is due to the Supreme Court ruling striking down Roe v. Wade in the Court of Appeals decision to allow Georgia's so-called heartbeat law to go into effect. So this is really cool and a step in the right direction. I hope to see more states following that. I would really like to see a huge tax incentive for everybody having children. Your government should stop meddling in other countries' affairs. I would agree with that. This comes from Xi Jinping, book of that starts civil wars. Okay. I'm Taiwanese and I have direct family in Taiwan, and there's no hate towards America. Yeah, so the issue here, as I've already addressed, is regarding the visit between Nancy Pelosi and the Taiwanese government. There were people protesting outside saying not too kind things about Nancy Pelosi or the U.S., and I think that they have every right to. What's going on?
Yo, what's up, man? Just came here to say, yeah, you're completely right, bro.
About
this shit. The Biden coming for gun holsters and the tax incentives for children. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, man.
To have children and keep them. Not enough people nowadays care about traditional family values.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The one that you say about the Taiwanese people hating Americans, I'm not sure I can stand with a blanket statement. Maybe if you rephrased it as culturally, you know?
Yeah, so once again, this has nothing to do with all Taiwanese people. This has everything to do with a video that was shown at the beginning of the stream where Taiwanese people were protesting Nancy Pelosi's arrival, telling her to leave, and cussing out America for sending her. So it's not that the Taiwanese people hate her. It's just that they are not hate America. I'm sorry. It's not that the Taiwanese people that they hate Americans, but rather they do not like what's going on between the relationship of the U.S. and China, which will lead them into war. And
no shit. They're the ones at fault. If anything happens, they're the ones that are going to get fucked up. So, of course, it's par for the course.
Yes, exactly. So it has nothing to do with everybody in Taiwan disliking Americans, but more so the video that I showed at the beginning, which you can go back and watch on MOT Media, on YouTube, and all that good stuff.
Yeah. All right, man. Keep fighting the good fight. You take care.
All right. Thanks, man. You too. All right. Democrats say they like Trump, was tyrannical. Why? Yeah.
Hello?
Hey, what's going on?
What do you mean by Biden comes for gun holsters?
Yeah. So the Department of Commerce asked gun holster companies for sales records. And basically the concern is that there will be a registry created out of this for gun owners, types of guns, the number of firearms owned. So it was just basically an assumption made by the gun holster companies that this may create a registry, a hypothesis, because of the abundance of commodity flow surveys that were sent to a lot of gun holster companies. So it looks like a way to add a registry and encroach on people's rights. That's what their concern is.
I understand. And how would this affect the legacy of Ford?
I'm sorry? How would this what?
How would this affect the legacy of Fortnite Jonesy, bro?
I have no clue what you're talking about. I can't even hear you.
Okay, bro. Sorry. I'll be serious now. So when it comes to these guns, how many V-Bucks are it?
All right. Looks like we just got a bunch of people who are talking about things that I have no clue about. Looks like a bunch of Fortnite stuff. Bro, where's the Fortnite? I've never played Fortnite, so I have no clue. Wise Man once said the Second Amendment is there just in case one day. Yeah. All right. Hey, how's it going?
Look, I can't speak for Taiwan, but I'll say most islanders in the Pacific fucking hate America.
I mean, that's not surprising.
Yeah, because look at America has a tendency. I don't know what our freedoms are doing. I don't know, why we have your freedoms. We checked in the back. We haven't found them, but if you kind of asked nicely, we probably would have tried giving them back. There's a large tendency for America to invade our islands and, try kill us all. We can look at Guam, Palau, Kiribati, Hawaii, Samoa, American Samoa, Tokelau. They've even set up bases here in Aotearoa, New Zealand. America, a lot of Pacific Islanders, especially Polynesians and Micronesians, fucking hate America.
Yeah, I mean, America has been given a bad rep over the past few decades, and it's arguable.
I think it's earned that bad rep.
Arguably, you could say it has. I mean, I don't know why we were fighting in Vietnam. I don't know why we were fighting anywhere over in the Pacific. I mean, the reason that we were, quite honestly, is because throughout American history, we see a group of people who want to further their reach as far as colonizing or neo-colonialization, westernizing the world. So that's been something that America's been known for quite some time. And this is carried over from the European nations. But it isn't uniquely American either. I mean, a lot of other every civilization likes to expand. So it's not just uniquely European or Westerner. China's tried to do it. Russia's tried to do it. But it usually fails, right? So America is just the latest attempt at imperialism, and it's failing right now, and it's getting a bad rep.
But again, we can also look at how America treats Pacific Islanders within the country, those who are part of the country. We can look at how it banned Olelo Hawaii, which is the Hawaiian language, Hawaiian culture, point blank, period.
Mm-hmm.
We can look at how we can again look at specifically the state of Utah, which has banned Pacific Islander culture from schools and stopped multiple kids from graduating. America does not treat Pacific Islanders very kindly.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really speak too much on that just because I don't know the extent of the history. I know quite a bit not quite a bit, I know a decent amount of the relationship between the United States and China and what the United States and Britain did to China. as far as trying to take over land, breaking off Hong Kong, trying to solidify Taiwan's control as its own nation for quite some time. We teamed up with Japan to try to take out. So, I mean, like, I know that America appeared, well, this is the thing too, that people tend to forget. Chinese look at themselves as superiors, as the superior human beings of the world. And America used to view themselves in the same light, as well as the English. But now that's no longer the case. But during that time when we were viewing ourselves as such, yeah, we probably did some not so nice things, taking over other parts of the world. But once again, it isn't uniquely American or uniquely European. It is a human trait as civilizations build and nations build, that it seems that for whatever reason, humans want to acquire more power.
All right. Again, like, yes, but also no, because it only seems to be specific groups and specific nations that tend to do this. And again, like someone just said, just because people do it doesn't make it okay.
Nobody's saying it's okay.
And
I'm just saying it's a part of human nature.
America has no need to do it.
Yeah, so we're on the same page. I don't think that we should be doing it either. I'd rather us to be focusing on America, focusing on mending our damaged states. We decide not to do that. But I have no control over that. And so as an observer of reality, I accept the fact that, hey, China's done this. Russia's done this. A bunch of other nations have done this before. It seems to be the way it goes when you're trying to build an empire. This seems to be in most, for whatever reason, societies have the desire to build an empire and conquer the world. This is like a very common thing throughout history. It doesn't mean it's right. It doesn't mean it's good. It's just an objective observation of reality. And the United States is the latest one to attempt it. And like every other one, we're failing.
All right, fair enough. All right, well, I think I really have nothing else to say. So, yeah.
Right on.
That about.
All right, see you, man. So China has a need to do it. Nobody's saying there's a need to do it. China already tried to do it, when they had first become communist. They took over a bunch of islands. They tried to, do the whole conquering the world thing, as did the Soviet Union. And they both failed. The Roman Empire did this. Many of empires have done this back in the day. And they all fail. Allow men to opt out of fatherhood during pregnancies to allow women to abort. Yeah, no. They're actively trying to do it. I don't think that China's trying to do it right now. I don't know. We'll see. Now Roman Catholic Church. Okay. Xi Jinping is doing it much more effectively right now than Mao ever could. I think that Xi Jinping has taken a totally different approach than Mao. I don't think Xi Jinping takes very kindly to what Mao did, how Mao ran the government. I think that Xi Jinping is being honest in his attempt to weed out corruption in the CCP. Every single one has tried it if they were capable of it. Yeah, Gojo and poly marriages. I mean, polygamy wouldn't be bad, but ideally you would want a monogamous society. That way everybody, not everybody, but most men would be able to get a woman and be able to start a family. Otherwise, what would happen is the top tier men would get all the women, and most of the dudes would have no woman, have no family. I love to see them try to take it. Taiwanese people hate Americans. That's why they were flaying during these protests. There's also protesters telling Pelosi to get out of here. So, it goes both ways. Hey, what's going on?
Bro, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm okay. Marriage will never be cool again.
Why is that?
Because there's nothing in it for the man.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't believe that, but I get where you're going. I know where you're going. I get it. In the Western world, it can be very detrimental to get married and then go through a divorce. I get that.
Bro, you gotta believe me. There's nothing in it for the man. If there's any man listening here today, I would say please do not get married, because divorce is a real thing. Look at the divorce rates, it's high. The divorce rates are really high. There's nothing in it for you to get married. If you decide to get married and it doesn't work out and you end up getting divorced, you're gonna get your children taken away from you. You're gonna have to pay maintenance. She's gonna take everything, and you're gonna end up with nothing. Don't do it.
Yeah. So yeah, as I said, I totally get where you're coming from. We do have a female. People don't like to admit this, but females do have more rights in the West than men do, especially when it comes to the marriages, divorces, etc. However, I think that marriages are the backbone of building a powerful community, which then evolves into a powerful nation. And the way that marriages are revived are by having them and then using them in the proper way. So the men has to lead. So one of the reasons why marriages aren't cool anymore is because the roles between a man and a husband and wife have been confused. They're ambiguous.
Yeah,
so if you unblur those lines, you make it known who's the leader, and it's followed in the way it should be, where the husband is the head of the household, the woman is the body of the household, and the woman is leading the children, raising the children, making a beautiful home. Obviously, it doesn't mean she has no say in things that are going on, but the man should be able to have authority in his home. And right now, that's a huge issue where men have no authority in their home.
You're stepping into some really dodgy territory here, but you're going to get yourself into a whole bunch of trouble. Well, everything you're saying now is correct.
You're a Christian, are you not?
In reality, it's correct, but it's politically incorrect.
It doesn't matter.
What I mean, right?
It doesn't matter. But you're a Christian, right? So if you're a Christian, I remember we had this whole conversation about Christianity and Islam. And so if we're Christians here, we should know that when we speak the truth, we will be persecuted. So we shouldn't be afraid to do so. And so these are things that people need to hear. Marriage allows you to create beautiful families. The most stable environment for children to be raised in is in the home of their parents, their biological parents.
Brother, it depends on how you define
marriage. Marriage is only defined one way, between a man and a woman. There is no other form of marriage.
Well, there are different definitions.
It is man and woman. Now, a man could be married to multiple women, but it is always a man and a woman.
Yeah, no. Okay, look, I agree with you, but what I'm trying to say is you can have different definitions in the sense that marriage is a contract that you draw up with the government to get the government involved, or marriage can be a promise between a man and a woman. Without getting the government involved, because what I'm saying is, if you do it the government way, where you sign the contract and you get the government involved, if it doesn't work out, the government will make sure that she takes everything. 1 second.
Yeah, so you don't need to get the government involved to be married. Marriage is just a ceremony saying that you're going to commit to somebody for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and I agree with you 100%. But she's gonna want a proper marriage.
Yes.
And a proper marriage is where you get the government involved. In these days, that's how she's thinking about it. If you say to her, "Look, I want to marry you, but I don't want to get the government involved. Let's just have a ceremony." Between you and I, and we write down something on a piece of paper, we sign it. She's thinking, "Oh, hang on, that's not a proper marriage. A proper marriage is when you do it the proper way, which is getting the government involved."
Well, that's a social construct. I mean, that's a relatively new thing. I mean, marriages, typically you were married to somebody. This historically, you like primal days, marriage, the way it was understood, is when you got intimate with somebody, when you became one, literally, in a moment. So marriage is, much more than a piece of paper. You don't need to go through the legal ramifications to get married. It's just through the state size, you're then married. Then you can legally call your significant other husband, wife, whatever. However, the point is, marriage is a union between a man and a woman that commit to each other to make a family. So I get your concerns 100%. I'm married the traditional way, all that stuff. We got the paper, we got all that stuff. I get it. But marriage is much more than that.
You got the government involved in yours, didn't you?
I did. And I don't really care. I don't mind the government. I think the government is a source for good in most cases.
You don't care now, my brother, because things are going well. But if things don't work out very well, then you're going to care big time.
No, because I would not play by the same rules as most other men would. If my wife ever tried to do anything like that, I would make it so she couldn't. Whether it be me moving a state, moving the country, I would refuse to be victim to anything like that.
So how come you are able to be free, but 99% of men have their children taken away from them, but you no, it won't happen to you? How comes?
Because I just wouldn't accept it. I would do whatever I could to avoid it.
Yes, but all dads want to do that. No dad wants to lose their kids. I'm telling you, dads love their children.
Yeah, I know. I'm a dad. I love my children. And so first off, my wife and I will never go through that, because here's the thing. Here's how I know we'll never go through that, because we're committed to each other for life. The only way I would divorce my wife is if she cheated on me, but she would never cheat on me. Yeah. I mean, look at me. She would never cheat on me. I'm the man. I'm the man. She would never cheat on me. She knows that.
You're funny.
So
I remember we spoke before. What did we speak about? Do you remember?
We talked about religion and theology quite a bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm not worried about that. I don't think about those things. And, because I'm not insecure in my marriage. And so can things happen? Of course. But that's the only way I would leave my wife.
Are you an atheist?
I'm not.
Are you a Christian?
I am.
Oh, okay. And how long have you been married?
I've been married for like 6-7 years.
I was married for 16 years, and it ended. It ended after 16 years. Only recently, probably about 4 or 5 months ago. But I'm lucky. I'm very lucky, because she decided not to take the children from me. She decided, the thing is, she knows that I love my children. Like, I absolutely adore my kids. And she knows that if she took them from me, she would be punishing them just as much as she would be punishing me. Mm-hmm. That's why I don't understand. I don't understand why so many women take the kids away from the man. He must be a real... I don't want to swear on TikTok, or she must be really nasty. Mm-hmm. I don't get it. Like, even my parents got divorced when I was 6. But my dad was a bit of a he cheated on my mom. So my mom was like, okay, I'm gonna punish you for that, and I'm gonna go to court and get custody. And so my dad was only allowed to visit us, once a week or whatever it was. But I don't understand why so many women, they just take the children from the guy just to punish him, because they can get away with it. That's the point I'm trying to make, is that the women have all the rights in divorce. Men have no rights in divorce.
Yeah, so I think one way that you could reverse that as a man, I've never been in this situation, but just thinking about it, would be to start another family, dude. I mean, you're a man, so you have more flexibility when it comes to your offspring. I know it sounds wrong, I get it, but if you're like with a better looking woman, if you can get a better looking woman and make babies with that better looking woman, probably your ex-wife is going to be like, wow, I want your attention again. So I don't know. Women are competitive in that way. I think that, I experienced this in my own life, not with me, but, I have a grandfather who started 2 families, and my grandma, although they lived in different states, my grandma, my biological grandmother, adored him still. And my mom and dad are now divorced because my dad, infidelity. And now he has another family, and my mom still loves my dad. So,
Yeah.
and they both had amicable relationships with their significant others. Even when they were with somebody else, they still would not, like, even though my parents got divorced very recently, so my sister and I were adults. It wasn't like we had a split time or anything, but with my grandma, as far as I know, with my grandfather, even though they were in different states, my grandma never prevented him, my grandpa, from taking his kids if he wanted to. And I think that it has a lot to do with the fact that you're not obsessing over that one woman, and that you're showing them that you can move on, because really all they're trying to do is get attention out of you and rile a reaction. Because, that's what women want ultimately, is attention.
Yeah. Well, I'm 41 years old now. I've got 3 children. I was married to her for 16 years, but we were together for 20. She was with me half my life, and I'm a full-time single dad now. There's no way, I don't have time to go and start another family.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm looking after my 3 kids. We're sharing them 50-50. There's absolutely no time in the day for me to go start another family. That's it now. It's over now.
Well, it doesn't sound like you need to. It doesn't sound like that would apply to you. But you were talking about other men whose wife have taken away their children, so that wouldn't apply to you.
Yeah.
Because you're very fortunate.
Sure.
You're very fortunate in that you get 50-50 with your ex-wife, right? It seems that things were sort of amicable, maybe not entirely. You don't have to dive into it, but peaceful enough to where she allows you to see the children consistently, and that's awesome.
But you know why I think it is? It's because we have a teenager, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if she decides, I'm going to show you, and I'm going to take the kids away from you, the teenager would straight away, he would see that, like, wow, what mom's doing is not right. See, the woman normally takes the kids when they're too young to understand. You see? And I think that because I have a teenager, he's at the age of understanding. So she knows she can't step out of line. She can't abuse me like that, because he will see that, whoa, what she's doing is wrong.
Yeah. That definitely plays a role in it, I'm sure.
Yeah. But, thanks, bro. It's quite a heavy conversation here, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But marriage is worthwhile. I would encourage everybody, if it's for you. Not everybody's supposed to get married. I agree with that as well. It's a spectrum. I get that. It's just much easier to speak in generalities than you have to be too nerdy talking about all the spectrums and shit like that. So just straightforward, marriage is worth trying.
Bro, we're both Christians. Which means that we support marriage. God loves marriage. As Christians, we don't even want to have sex outside of marriage. But at the end of the day, what is marriage? Is marriage a promise between a husband and a wife, or is marriage getting the government involved? See?
It's a promise between a husband and a wife.
Exactly.
But the Bible also says that we should respect our government. So
you are correct, sir. You are correct. But the thing is, if we do respect our government, then they will make sure that we end up bad in the case of a divorce.
Yeah, anything can happen, man. And so there are certain things people can do to mitigate their risk of having those bad things, such as divorce.
There's a big movement. It's called the MGTOW.
Yeah, I totally disagree with that, but...
Me too. I disagree with it big time, but I'm saying that these movements exist because of the fact that it is true that men have no benefits of getting married. Nothing. I mean, in the sense, look, I'm not talking about in the religious sense, because in the religious sense, it's the right thing to do. You promise yourself to a woman. I'm talking about once you get the government involved, there's no benefit for a man. Nothing.
Yeah, I think that materially you can make that argument, but also you can make the argument that there is something involved materially as well, because if you have the correct marriage, well, then you're going to have somebody that complements you, right? So not only can a woman act as like a social status, right? So that's a material level. So if you have an attractive wife, she could bolster your social status within your community, wherever you are. This is very true. All men know this, which is why all men want attractive women. One of the reasons why. Secondly, I mean, have children to pass on your offspring. Obviously, you don't need marriage to pass on your offspring, but if you want the best opportunity for your offspring, it's going to be in a marriage. Thirdly, you could say to have somewhat of a cohesive home, right? To have a beautiful home and have an orderly home. A wife plays a huge role in that. So there's a lot of things that a man could benefit from being married. It teaches you to have to take on more responsibilities than maybe you otherwise would, right? So now you're not only responsible for yourself, but you're responsible for a woman, and then you're responsible for children. So it gives you a greater sense of duty in the world. So I think in many ways, marriage is worth trying, and marriage is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, but it depends on how you define marriage, because the marriage can be defined as I promise you that you'll be the only one for me, or marriage can be defined as we're signing a contract to get the government as the third party in this contract. And I'm saying, if you're gonna define marriage as the government will be third party in our contract, then as a man, you're gonna end up very, very, very sorry. In the case of a divorce, when she cleans you out and takes your children from you.
That didn't happen to you, though. So you can't say it's, a broad statement. There are obviously scenarios where that doesn't happen. I know it didn't happen with my mom and dad. My mom and dad had a very peaceful divorce. Very peaceful.
Yeah. Okay, bro. Thanks for the chat. It's
yep.
quite a heavy conversation, yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, you have a good one.
You too. God bless.
All right. Let's see. I think we're going to let one more person in after this, and I'm going to call it because I got to go at 3. So what's going on, man?
What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Doing well. Long time no talk.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Well, that was a great conversation. I'm divorced over twice.
Oh wow.
It's interesting. It happens, and I didn't ever want to be divorced. I always wanted the white picket fence and my kids coming down on Christmas morning, running down the steps and seeing their bright eyes and seeing everything, positive in life happen. But, people grow apart. It's more prevalent now than any time before. You got social media, which is a big part, I believe, of divorces anymore. Facebook, reconnecting, with friends and ex-lovers. You always hear that. Well, my ex-boyfriend reached out to me, and yada yada yada. And next thing you know, it's you're trying to do therapy and stuff. And I think the family court's very corrupt situation. What he was talking about is they side more, but you're finding more and more these days that the court system really tries to get 50-50 custody so the kids can have a father figure and a mother figure.
Right.
in their life. I mean, I get my kids 50% of the time. As kids get older, they, have more friends maybe on their mom's side or maybe on their dad's side, depending on how that goes. And, kids end up choosing or saying, hey, I don't want to go to dad's or I don't want to go to mom's this weekend. And that happens over time. I mean, it's inevitable that would go down like that. I wanted to talk about the Taiwan. This morning I was on a live. I had about 200 plus people in there, and we were looking at, we watched Nancy Pelosi's plane land.
Yep.
We saw the fact that, the Chinese military stopped any private flights over the Taiwan Strait. They're moving multiple thousands and thousands of armored tanks on the coastline of China on the southern coast of facing Taiwan. Mm-hmm. Their destroyers, United States destroyers, have been moved to the western side of the Taiwan Strait. There was sirens going off before she landed. There was a group of Chinese military jets that were dropping flash bombs in the sky while they were basically pretty much as she was landing. It's been kind of a crazy situation over there. The thing with Taiwan people in America I don't know if that, I mean, there's definitely always going to be people that disagree with what I think America has done over, the last 50, 60 years, giving money to foreign nations to, keep wars going. And and I do believe it's a money grab. So I think we're going to have people on both sides. There's going to be people that like us, and there's going to be people that dislike us over in Taiwan. I mean, I feel like she should have went to Taiwan. I mean, I feel like if she wouldn't have, do you feel like that would have been a slap in America's face on our strength and our power of democracy?
No. We should have not have went whatsoever. Totally stupid. What is Nancy Pelosi doing over there? She's not a cabinet member. She has nothing to do, no business whatsoever being over in Taiwan. Even if it was a cabinet member, it doesn't matter. We shouldn't be over there provoking China. It's totally insane. Let China handle their business with Taiwan however they want to handle it. And just so everybody knows, this is what I was referring to when it comes to the top point there in regards to Taiwan hating Americans. It was this video right here that nobody's showing you. This was protesters in Taiwan when Nancy Pelosi was said to come. So that's what I'm referring to in regards to the video. Not the video, the talking point.
I saw that on Twitter.
Yeah.
I saw that on Twitter this morning too. So I was really just like, and that's the thing. You nailed it too, because it's not this. Secretary of State usually does foreign relationships, and she's the Speaker of the House. It's just we don't ever really see this, but she did go to Ukraine. She has been involved in trying to smooth out the situations or keep the corruption going, like in Ukraine, right? I mean, so I don't know.
Give me 1 second here. Give me 1 second here. I'm gonna show you guys. Why would we even send her? This is another example. Give me 1 second. All right, I just found it, so I gotta pull it back up.
Yeah, what they manufacture is processing microchip board, processing chips. Yeah, it's funny how China, right after we retreated from Afghanistan and took everything out, that China actually went in and gave them billions of dollars for all their lithium mines and having the rights to their minerals. And that's why Taiwan is a really good place for them to actually use all that lithium and process. They've already established that they make better chips than most people in Taiwan. So, yeah.
All right. So here's another, like, why would Nancy Pelosi go to Ukraine? Why would she go to Taiwan? I mean, she is. Let me just come on. This is insane. You want this to represent you?
Step over to the Senate. Well,
I know.
most of the product that we've done is. Except now we may have added in the last day or so, and some of what we added is Senate to the bill, like a hearing.
What is she even saying?
Is this the video where she talks about bird baths?
Yeah.
Is that the video
Yeah.
where she talks about bird baths?
Yep.
Yeah. Dude. Yeah, she's lost her mind. Trust me, I am not a fan of Pelosi at all. I live in communist California, bro. So I am 100%. She shouldn't even be the Speaker of the House. They should literally have, term limits. I mean, look at them shouting off that there should be term limits for the Supreme Court justices, but yet here they don't even want to have term limits themselves. So
Right.
I agree with you. I think you and I are on the same page, man. And I don't want to really take up all your time if there's
It's all
more
good.
people that want to get on, but I wanted to come in and talk a little bit about that and stuff. So
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
But yeah, man, keep doing what you're doing. Yeah, I want to jump
Appreciate
on with you. I actually like conversating with you because I think we're on the same page when it comes to majority of the stuff. Our ideologies kind of think the same way, and you articulate very well. So thanks. Keep
Thank
up
you
the
very
good
much,
work,
man.
and I look forward to seeing you again. So
Awesome.
have a great day, guys.
Likewise. All right, guys. So there is one more person in here, but if I recall, they are the Fortnite trolls. So I'm going to end this now. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe to MOT Media on YouTube. And then obviously here as well, right? MOT News, MOT Today 1, MOT Sports, everything, MOT. So thank you guys for coming in. Hope you enjoyed it. We will be back tonight, actually, with Mick around 11:30, 11:45, going over some more current event stuff. But all right, guys, much love. Peace.